So today we are diving into one of the most powerful and honestly mysterious phenomena in all of medicine, the placebo effect. Now, we've all heard that phrase mind over matter, right? But what if it's so much more than that? What if your mind has its own secret pharmacy ready to dispense powerful chemicals, all triggered by one simple, incredible thing: belief? To really get a grip on how powerful this is, let me take you back to 1957. There was a patient, a Mr. Wright. He was in a terrible state, dying from advanced cancer with tumors literally the size of baseballs. He heard about this experimental new drug and he pinned all of his hope on it. And believe it or not, after just one shot, his doctor saw what he could only describe as a miracle. The tumors, he said, just melted away. Mr. Wright was back on his feet, feeling so good he was even flying his own airplane. That miracle drug? Yeah, it was later revealed to be nothing but sterile water. And that right there is the central question we're tackling. This wasn't just him feeling better. This was a measurable physical change in his body. So how is that even possible? How can the simple act of believing you're getting a cure actually cause your body to heal itself? Well, the answer, it turns out, is hiding deep inside the architecture of our own brains. Now, you might be thinking Mr. Wright's story, as amazing as it is, has to be a one-off fluke, right? Some kind of crazy anomaly. But it's not. There is a whole field of research looking into these seemingly impossible cures, and some of the most jaw-dropping evidence comes from a place you probably wouldn't expect: the operating room. 51%. Let that sink in for a second. A huge analysis of 53 different surgical trials found that 51% of the time, the real invasive surgery was no more effective than a sham procedure, a fake surgery. So, what on earth is a sham surgery? Well, in these studies, surgeons will make the incision. They'll move around, make all the sounds of a real operation, but they don't actually do the main surgical repair. And yet, for things like chronic knee pain, patients reported the exact same amount of pain relief and improved function. It proves that the powerful ritual of surgery itself, the bright lights, the medical team, the deep-seated expectation that you're being fixed, is an incredibly potent placebo. Okay, so if it's not the surgeon's scalpel doing the heavy lifting, what is it? What's the engine driving all of this? Well, scientists have pinpointed two fundamental psychological mechanisms that work together to turn our beliefs into actual biology. Let's break these down. First up is expectation. You can think of this as a top-down, conscious process. It's the thinking part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, basically saying, hey, the doctor said this pill will work, so I expect to feel better. Then you've got conditioning. This is the opposite. It's a bottom-up, totally unconscious process. It's a learned reflex, where your body has literally been trained to connect the rituals of medicine with the real physical effect. Think about it like this. You've probably experienced this yourself. For years, every single time you get a headache, you take an aspirin and the pain goes away. Your body learns that connection. The pill gets paired with the feeling of relief. So after a while, just the simple act of taking a pill, even if it's just a sugar pill, can be enough to trigger that learned response of pain relief. It completely bypasses your conscious mind. Your body just remembers. And now for the part that is just mind-blowing. This isn't just fluffy psychology. We're talking about hard neurobiology. With modern brain imaging, scientists can literally watch the placebo effect happen in real time. We can see the brain flipping the switches on its own internal drug cabinet. Let me be crystal clear here. When you respond to a placebo, your brain isn't just thinking it feels better. No way. It is actively pumping out its own endogenous chemicals, its own version of morphine, its own stimulants that create real, tangible changes throughout your body. And what's truly fascinating is how specific these chemicals are. When a placebo is given for pain, what does the brain release? Its own natural opioids. For Parkinson's patients who are starved of dopamine, a placebo injection can trigger a massive flood of dopamine right in the brain regions that need it most. The brain is literally manufacturing the precise drug required for that exact situation. It's incredible. So how do we know for sure this chemical reaction is real? Here's the smoking gun. Scientists did this killer experiment. First, they gave people a placebo for pain, and yep, the people felt relief. But then, they gave them a drug called naloxone. This is the same stuff they use in emergency rooms to reverse a heroin overdose because it instantly blocks every opioid receptor in your brain. And the second that naloxone hit their system, poof, the placebo pain relief completely vanished. And this is maybe the single most important thing to take away from all this. The relief you feel from a placebo is not imagined. It is not all in your head. It is a genuine opioid-driven biological event. Your brain produced a painkiller that is every bit as real as one you'd get from a pharmacy. But of course, there's a twist to this story. Because if belief can be a powerful force for healing, it stands to reason that it can also be a powerful force for harm. And that's where we meet the placebo's evil twin, the nocebo effect. The word nocebo literally translates from Latin to I shall harm, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's what happens when a negative expectation, like a doctor warning you about a long list of side effects, actually causes those side effects to show up, even if you're just taking a harmless sugar pill. Really, you can think of them as two sides of the exact same coin. They just use different chemical pathways to get the job done. While the placebo effect is running on those feel-good chemicals like opioids and dopamine, the nocebo effect is driven by stress hormones and a neurotransmitter called CCK, which actually cranks up pain signals in the brain. So positive expectation heals, negative expectation hurts. And this creates a huge ethical problem for doctors every single day. By law, they have to give you informed consent, they have to tell you about all the potential side effects. But the very act of listing them out, this might cause nausea, headaches, dizziness, can plant that negative seed, that negative expectation that actually makes you feel sick. So how do you balance being honest with the incredible power of suggestion? Which brings us to the future. For centuries, the placebo was basically seen as a trick, a little white lie that required deception to work. But cutting-edge research is completely flipping that old idea on its head. It's pointing to a future where we can tap into this amazing power ethically and even transparently. Okay, get ready for this one, because it sounds completely impossible. It's a concept called the open-label placebo. Researchers are discovering that a placebo can still work wonders, even when you tell the patient point blank, this is a fake pill with no active ingredient. Just look at this landmark study from a Harvard researcher named Ted Kapchuk. He took a group of patients with irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. One group got no treatment. The other group got pills that he explicitly told them were placebos made of an inert substance. The results were just stunning. The group who knew they were taking a placebo reported nearly double the symptom relief. The simple, comforting ritual of taking a pill was a powerful therapy all by itself. And the future is about to get even more personal. Scientists have now discovered something they're calling the placebome. It turns out your genetics, specifically variations in the genes that control chemicals like dopamine and opioids, can actually predict how strongly you're going to respond to a placebo. Some of us are just genetically wired to be high responders, while others, not so much. Which leaves us with this final, really profound question. The science is making it clear that the whole context of healing, having an empathetic doctor, the ritual of care, the meaning we give to a treatment, these things aren't just nice little extras. They are active biological ingredients in their own right. So if belief itself is a drug, and the relationship with your doctor is a medical procedure, what does that mean for the future of medicine? And for the incredible untapped power to heal that lies inside every single one of us?